As a result of what happened in France, jihadists have called for followers to do copycat attacks. And you've had copycat attacks in Nice, in Austria, other parts of France. And then you had the French president coming out with a very strong statement. But around the world, amongst Muslims, that has elicited strong reaction, and some have termed it as Islamophobic too. In Singapore, we've picked up an increase in interest, but at the same time, attempts at radicalization. ISD has stepped up, police have stepped up presence, and we picked up, just in the last few weeks, 16 Bangladeshis and 1 Malaysian. Quite a serious situation. One of them in particular was planning attacks on people. He was not in Singapore, he was planning to go back to Bangladesh and kill Hindu police officers. So he was collecting knives, Ahmad Faisal. He's also being investigated for offenses in terms of terrorism financing issues. He is under detention by the Internal Security Department. 15 other Bangladeshis, they were all responding to the calls, becoming radicalized, on their way to becoming radicalized, responding to calls to attack French interests. We have deported them, repatriated them. The Malaysian likewise, encouraging others to join in, to attack. So we have sent him back to Malaysia. This is a serious situation. Online radicalization, people feel, and some get moved by it. Without a proper understanding of religion, I've made the point in several places. You have extremists in every religion. If you look around Asia, you have Hindus killing Muslims, you have Buddhists killing Muslims, you have Muslims killing Hindus, Buddhists, fellow Muslims. In fact, most of the people who have been killed by the extremist jihadists are fellow Muslims. But every religion actually abhors violence. So the antidote is to really get the community to come forward and step up. And because the government will not have credibility when it talks about religion. So we keep ourselves secular. It's for the community and the leadership, and the religious leadership, to explain to the people what every religion is about. And in Singapore, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu, other religions, Taoist, everyone, I think, understands and promotes a certain harmony and peace. The French approach, it forms a good backdrop for our discussions in Singapore. Because like us, or rather like them, we are secular, and they call it laïcité. So it takes but secularity for them means the government has got no involvement, keeps a very hands-off approach from religion. And at the same time, they guarantee freedom of religion, but at the same time, free speech for them is somewhat absolute in these contexts. So people are allowed to blaspheme religions, religious practices, religious leaders, post what I would call very repulsive, offensive caricatures and cartoons and articles about Catholics, about Protestants, about Muslims, about the religious figures, about the prophet, about Jesus, about God. And within the French context, if you look at the French history, you can understand how they have developed such a perspective. But you can also understand that people of other faiths not accepting or not finding this acceptable. We take a very different approach. We also have a secular approach. We also guarantee freedom of religion. But for us, free speech stops at the boundary of giving offense to religions. And if you had the Charlie Hebdo type of cartoonists in Singapore, they would have been told to stop. And if they didn't stop, they would have been charged. They would have been arrested, they would have been charged. So free speech stops at the boundary of giving offense to religion. we don't accept it. And I think our population supports that approach. And for us, how do we maintain government secularity? By making sure our policies are geared towards neutrality and fairness to all, making sure that everyone can flourish, protecting all religions, guaranteeing freedom of religion, but we are also interventionist. We intervene, try and support religious harmony by working with the different religious groups, institutions, supporting them, working with them, trying to bring them all together to understand a Singaporean perspective. And I think so far, it's work in progress, but so far I think it has been a positive experience.